Episode 3, Stages of a Manic Episode. This episode, we're talking about stages of the episode, and we're talking about triggers. Or I mentioned last time about triggers. So it could be something traumatic, something that's life-changing, either that someone dies, you lose your job, you're losing your marriage, you lose your home, you have a baby, right? Your whole life changes, and it could be something exciting, something really that you were looking forward to, but makes you really anxious, and you end up not being able to calm down. And then the sleep gets affected, right? Your sleep will get affected. So maybe you were sleeping 7 to 8 hours before, but it starts decreasing, less and less, 5. You start thinking, oh, I only need 4 hours. It's fine. And that will really hurt you and end up making you, usually if you haven't gone off your meds already, right? Like if that's not something you do at the beginning, you will eventually stop taking your medication. But the problem already occurred before that. So it's not just, oh, they stopped taking medication. Something stressful or traumatic happened that made it so that they weren't able to sleep or take their meds anymore, or they felt like they didn't have to. So here's what happens in my case. I have, let me just see, 17 stages of an episode. Let's see if I can get through this rather quickly. The first, so like I said, the first stage is a loss, such as a death, job, marriage, change. It can be very severe, right? You have some kind of trauma. You become, or I become, let's say, hypersexual, right? Have hypersexual activity. All of a sudden, I'm dressing more provocatively. People look at me and they think I'm flirting with them because I have this sexual vibe going on. The third thing, I go low and get depressed. And basically the depression could be no energy, or just start obsessing, right? Obsessing about the loss. Or I would go on YouTube, like for the last 2 times, and actually maybe even this time, which I don't think I'm manic, but I am kind of hypomanic right now, where I don't have the mania, but I have a lot of the energy to be creative, and this kind of, I don't know, like urge to learn a lot and study all this YouTube stuff, because my mom recently died. She passed away in February, and it's April now. And so did my grandmother right after her. And so that loss and her deteriorating health has really triggered me to start researching on YouTube all the ways I can be healthy, what I need to do to make sure I don't end up with dementia and living the last 9 months of my life the way I saw her, what she went through, which was horrible. But anyhow, yeah, so, okay, so you might start, something like, for me, it was religious or health stuff that I saw on YouTube that I was, constantly, immersing myself in. Then the fourth thing, my mind starts becoming more active. So I start thinking a lot about almost like conspiracy theories or something. It's kind of weird. It's like you just start thinking like, oh, well, what if this, or this is what's, this might mean this, you might become more creative. You make drastic changes suddenly, right, to your behavior. Like maybe like how I would change what I was wearing at one point to all white, because I said that now I'm a saint and I have the Holy Spirit. And so you change. You might start writing more, which I have a lot of writings that I've been doing, thinking more, ruminating on thoughts about the end of the world. I'm not doing that right now. Or conspiracies, God, the universe, focus, special powers. You think you have special powers and you have to save the world. So that's part of that. That's the fourth thing. Fifth thing, you become overstimulated and agitated and more prone to violent, angry outbursts. That can happen, and it's like you might have been really happy and cheery, and everybody was like, wow, you look so happy. And you're like, yeah, you're happy. And then the next thing you know, it's like, shoot. And you are just like, I wanted to say, resting bitch face, but this is actually live bitch face, and like you cursing people out. You're getting into, fights or altercations a lot. And you don't care because you think, maybe that's the real you and people should deal with it. Number 6, you take the action in line with your rational, crazy thoughts. So whatever that thought is, like if it's like, okay, I have to leave my baby, my newborn, to go become a homeless prostitute in France and sleep with strangers until I get impregnated with the beast to end the world. Okay, you might think that that's not anything that anybody would ever think of doing. I did that. I thought that, and I ended up taking a plane to France, and it was crazy because how did I do this? I was out of my mind, but somehow I still was able to do certain things. And again, I told you, it's like something takes over your whole, I don't know, like being. It's like it's not you anymore. So it's really creepy. But anyhow, so number 7, you feel God's presence and a sense of invincibility that something tragic has to occur for good to abound in the end. Okay, that's how I feel. I will feel like, okay, I'm going to have to die or be sacrificed, or my children, somebody has to die in my family, or all these crazy things for something good to happen. Number 8, you totally break with reality. Now you are in your own little world and no one understands what's going on in your mind. Only you know, and even you aren't really aware that you've let whatever is inside your brain start controlling what you do and think. And so it's really scary, and it's hard because people can only see on the outside what's happening and they don't understand the behavior. So it's very dangerous. You could get killed. You could kill someone, right? Because you're thinking certain things that make no sense. You could kill yourself because you're walking across the street looking up like God has me, and going across, 6, 7 lanes of traffic in the Paris. Oh my gosh. Okay, I was in that I don't know what it is. It's like a big circle where they have, I think it's the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. And I walk straight across just looking like this, not even looking both ways, like, I have to cross the street, and walk straight across. And no one hit me or killed me, but they're all the lanes of traffic going at the same time. So, yeah. Number 9, your mind takes over and you can't stop what you're doing or thinking. You only have the awareness that it's happening. So that's what I'm saying. You're kind of like, it's kind of like how they say mindfulness, right? When you're meditating, except you're in a meditative state and you're doing stuff, and it's like you're watching what's happening, but it's like it's not you because you are gone. You are not. It's like how the ego and the id. It feels like your ego is gone. The superego is gone. The ego is gone. Now it's the id. And the id is like, what is the id? I don't know. Is this innate behaviors that you do when you were a kid, that the unassigned, identity for someone? I'm not sure. But anyhow, and then number 10, you feel the connection to God and the universe or the matrix, right? And then number 11, you end up in the mental ward. Okay, I'm talking about myself. This is what happens to me. Number 12, it usually takes 3 to 4 weeks to come down, but the episode can last longer. So usually I'd have to be in the mental ward at least 3 times for a week and a half each time. And sometimes it's been longer than that. Like the one was like 4 weeks. And then the other one, it was like 2.5 weeks and 4 weeks, something crazy. It took very long to come back. Number 13, only other crazy people can understand the truth of your reality. So there'll be other people in there and they're like, yeah, I'm Cleopatra. And it's like, I'm Cleopatra. And it's like, we're both the reincarnations of Cleopatra at the same time. I don't know how that's possible, right? Or it's like, you kind of understand. The one guy, he's like, yeah, I'm God. I'm like, yep, you are God because you're a man and all men are God. And he's like, yeah, I'm God, I'm Jesus, I'm Black Jesus. And I'm like, yes, you are, sir. And we're having our own little world. We're in our own little world. Nobody understands. Number 14, you have weird, unexplained coincidences, or they seem supernatural in nature because it's like, how in the world did somehow I put my face in front of this dog that was barking? And it's like a pit bull or a Rottweiler. The Rottweiler did not bite my face. I went like this and put my face in his face, and he went and stopped. He was barking. He was scared, but I wasn't scared of him at all because I had the powers of God vested in me and all that. And so it was crazy. Like, it's not even just that. There's other things that happen that it's just, you're like, there's no way this can be possible. It starts raining, like when you're having this episode and you're like, I am controlling Mother Nature. I'm in control of all the forces of nature. It is really crazy. And then number 15, you crash back down to earth and then only realize the devastation you might have caused others and your life is screwed up too as a result. Yes, stealing a police car, 9 months in jail. Can't get a job as a teacher anymore because I have an arrest on my record. I was not guilty by reason of insanity, so I wasn't guilty. But let's use the operative word there in that sentence. Insanity. Okay, so you're saying you're not a criminal because you were not guilty, but you're insane? Even worse. We don't want you. So yes, of course. Number 16, shame and guilt, hopelessness. Yep, you start feeling really bad, like about what you've done, but it's like you weren't in control of what you were doing, and it's like, so it's kind of not your fault, but nobody is going to see it that way. Luckily, the judge saw it that way for me, but I could have gotten a felony for stealing a police car, 10 years in prison. So thank God it was only 9 months of my life in hell. But yeah, in jail. Jail is hell. Jail is hell. Number 17, your invisible illness, no one, not even you, usually knows is a problem until it's too late. So you have an invisible illness. People don't understand. They just judge by what you're doing. They don't know what's going through your mind. They don't know you're having a problem until it's way past the point of no return. So yeah, anyhow, that was the stages of an episode for me. Please leave any questions or feedback or comments in my comment section. I look forward to reading that. And I hope you enjoyed and that you will come back again for new content on my life with bipolar 1 disorder. Thank you. Mwah.